What's up, guys? I'm back again with another reaction video. This is going to be a super scary one, guys. So let's get into it, man. No time to waste. Let's get right into it. Let me put on my headphones. Never going to forget these headphones, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? All right, let's get started. Let's get this baby started, man. Image. Story 1.
It was a weekend night, November of 2015. My 7-year-old son Sean was having a sleepover with 4 of his friends. At the time, my wife wasn't home for whatever reason, so I had to keep a somewhat close watch on them without making it too obvious.
Yeah, no.
They were all in Sean's room making a lot of noise, and when things would get either too quiet or too loud, I would sneak over to the bedroom door and just listen to what was going on. You may think that's weird, but this was my wife's instructions, and any married man knows you never want to go against what your wife tells you to do. When it was getting a little loud, I went over to the door and heard that they were all just simply playing with Legos and other toys very loudly. So I went back to the living room to watch TV. Eventually, I heard weird thumping type noises coming from my son's room. I muted the TV and could distinguish them to be taps on one of the windows. I figured, let them have their fun, so long as they're not breaking anything. I unmuted the TV. However, I quickly realized things went completely silent from down the hall in my son's room. Now I was nervous that they might have broken something, because it was very uncommon for them to all be completely silent for so long. So I once again crept over to Sean's bedroom door and listened. I could hear quiet giggling and whispering in the room. I finally opened the door out of curiosity and saw the 4 boys sitting on the rug with a mess of toys scattered all over the place. I noticed that the window was completely open. I told Sean to keep it shut, and to also keep the noise down a little bit before shutting the door. I made a stop into the bathroom before planning to go back to the living room. However, when I was in the bathroom, I noticed through the corner of my eye a black shadow passing the window outside.
Whoa.
I ran back to my son's room and told the 4 boys not to go outside. Then, that's when it hit me. There were only 4 boys in the room as opposed to 5. Sean's friend Tom was missing. In a panic, I yelled at Sean to tell me where he was, and they all pointed to the open window. Sean said that he left with the pirate to go find the treasure. In that moment, I felt a mixture of feelings in my stomach, but mostly like it was about to explode. I wouldn't be able to fit through that window, so I ran out the front door and caught view of a man holding Tom's hand and walking towards a car. I yelled at him to stop. They both turned around, and then the man let go of Tom, hopped into the tan-colored Toyota Corolla, and floored it down the streets. I ran to grab Tom and brought him back inside. I was no longer comfortable with this sleepover, and called all the parents, told them what happened, and suggested they all come and pick up their kids, which is exactly what they did. I received a bit of criticism from Tom's parents at first, but they ultimately thanked me, and their son is still good friends with my son. The boys all said that a random man came to Sean's window, knocked on it, lifted it open himself, and talked in a pirate voice, asking one of the kids to come with him to find the treasure. The fact that this happened in the assumed safety of my own house, and that it actually worked, is what disturbs me the most.
Shit. Now that's some crazy stuff right there, man. Can you imagine? Whew! So you gotta lock all your windows, man.
Me, my friend Sarah, and my best friend Canada needed to find something to do and somewhere to smoke. There are woods in a very short walking distance from Sarah's house, and us all being very adventurous 15-year-olds thought that that would be perfect. We could smoke, then adventure the woods. Thinking back, I wish we would have smoked behind Sarah's house and just watched scary stories or some shit, but we didn't. When we made it to the opening that led into the woods that we went in, we adventured, we smoked, and overall, we had fun. And I wish this story ended there. You could clearly see anyone entering or exiting the woods from the streets. Sarah lives in a very nice neighborhood, except one house beside the woods that we were in. This house was old, and me and my friends often joked about how it looked like something out of The Hills Have Eyes. It was a rusty, blue tin house with pigs in the backyard. We were all on the path exiting the woods when we saw a bluish-gray Chevy pickup. The truck started up, and me and my friends jokingly decided to run away from it, and we were shocked to see the truck started following us. Every time we stopped, so did it. We took off running. There was a small hill that we hid behind so the truck couldn't see
Hell no.
us. The truck passed, and
Calling
after
the
a while,
police right
we
there.
got up, laughed it off, and started walking out of the woods, thinking it was a joke. After about 5 minutes of walking, we started to approach the exit, but we were all struck with fear when we saw headlights blocking the exit. We looked at each other, wondering what to do. Upon looking into the truck, I
Go
saw
for a
that it was a
fucking stick?
larger-sized
Shoot.
man in a hat and
Big
red
ass
shirt,
stick.
but that was all I could see from that distance.
Bust somebody's head off.
In
man.
panic,
No
Canada
playing
pulled
out
out a small pocket knife. However,
Definitely
I
not
didn't have
playing
much
with
trust in
anybody.
her abilities to use it, so I took the knife as we all ran into the woods until we thought we were safe.
here. At least I had a
We
knife,
waited
you
for
know.
a second, gathering our
Much
thoughts
better.
and our breath, and finally left the woods and went to Sarah's house. This happened at the end of our freshman year of high school. We were all in the middle of our sophomore year
Kids
now,
looking for
and
an
we've since
adventure.
stayed away from those woods for months. On September 10th, however, we went into the woods one last time.
Again.
It was Sarah's birthday, and again, we needed to find somewhere to smoke. There were 6 girls and 2 boys, so we thought it would be fine to go back into the woods, figuring safety in numbers. After entering the woods and walking for a while, we found a path. Me, Sarah, and Canada had seen the path before, but we never adventured it. To get to the path, you had to go down a small, steep hill. We all made it down the hill, and soon after came up to a fork in the path leading 2 ways. We chose to go left. It was a short trail which led to a small building that looked like it was abandoned before having been fully built. There was a wooden ladder, a small fire pit, but perhaps the oddest thing we found were the saws hanging by strings from tree to tree.
No,
Given
no.
that we were all stoned, perhaps we didn't take
Butcher.
the findings as seriously as we
About
normally
to get
would have.
butchered, man.
We decided to adventure down the right side of the fork in the path. Not far down the path, we found something truly horrific. There was a hangman-like structure, there was a noose on the ground, an old pair of shoes nearby, and a shovel. I'd never felt so uneasy in my life. We took pictures of everything, and we quickly left the woods safely, and I've made a personal promise to never go back into those woods. We believe the man who chased us in the pickup truck had something to do with what we found in the woods, and we were only more grateful after this that he didn't catch us. I'm
You guys had to
27
call
years
the
old.
police.
I live alone in a rural town in Virginia, about 2 blocks away from my parents. My parents are both in their 60s, and my mom has become a very worrisome woman in her old age. Sometimes she walks over uninvited and lets herself in, since I had regrettably given her a key, which can get a bit annoying. Like if I would be out really late on weekends at a bar or with women, I would sometimes come home to my mom sitting in the living room waiting, worried sick. I know you may just think, oh my god, that's crazy, why not just put your foot down and tell her to stop? Well, because you don't know my mom. It's very hard to describe her, but she's the kind of worrisome, innocent little lady that you just can't bring yourself to go against. And I hate to mention, she also has mild dementia. Anyway, this was Saturday night. I think it was around 2 in the morning. I was at a nearby club with a group of college friends, really the only place to hang out in this boring town, and I was getting ready to head home. I said goodbye to all my friends and walked the 3 blocks it took to get back to my house.
Shoot, now
I
I gotta
walked
start
out my
walking
front
with a
stoop
knife
in my
man, or
drunken
something.
haze and dug my hand in my
All
pocket
these
for my
crazy
keys.
stories out here.
When I grabbed the doorknob, I realized it was unlocked. My mom was here again. I quietly opened and shut the front door, locking it behind me. I put my keys on the kitchen counter and found a note written in my mom's handwriting saying, "You forgot this at our house, next to the box of half-eaten cake my parents didn't want." I didn't see my mom anywhere, so I assumed she must have gone upstairs to sleep in the guest bed until I got back, which is something she would commonly do as well. Then I heard footsteps upstairs, confirming it, and that's when I sighed once again. 27 years old, almost 3 in the morning, and she still has to wait up and treat me like a child. I ran upstairs to check the
somebody else,
guest bed,
man.
empty, along with all the bathrooms. I was afraid Mom was having one of her episodes due to her condition, so I ran to the phone to call my dad. After 4 rings, my dad picked up in a groggy voice, asking what the hell is the matter. After I told him that I heard Mom wandering around upstairs in my house, there was a short pause, and then he said, "That's not possible, she's sleeping right next to me." My mouth fell open as I turned my head to face the dark upstairs, and just barely by the light provided by the kitchen, I could see a head peering around from the corner at the top of the stairs, looking down at me. I screamed into the phone as I ran out the front door and down the street to my parents' house, explaining to my father on the way. About halfway there, my dad told me, "All right, I'm going to call the cops," and hung up. I made it to my parents' house, where my mom was already waiting at the door, worried sick. My mom explained that she did come over to clean my kitchen a little bit and to bring over the cake they didn't want. 2 police cars pulled up in front of my parents' house, where they escorted me and my dad down the street to my house. 1 officer stayed outside with us, while 2 others went inside to investigate. It felt like 15 minutes before they came back outside and said it was clear. They checked the crawl space, the attic, everything. There was really nothing for me to report, other than the door was left unlocked and I saw the outline of a head upstairs before I ran for it. Still, I didn't feel safe sleeping in there that night, so I went back to my parents' house. Me and my dad are certain that my mom simply forgot to lock the door when she left, as her memory has been getting worse over the past few months. My dad has been stopping her from coming over alone from now on, which makes me both sad but also relieved. Some nights I still get paranoid that whoever was in my house that night never left, and is still hiding in here somewhere.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, guys, that was some scary stuff, man. Imagine you're in one of those situations. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys got to watch out, man. It's a true story, guys. You have to always protect yourself. You never know crazy people, you know what I'm saying? It's a weird, crazy stories, man. There's a whole bunch of people that, man, just go and never come back. Freaking crazy. But anyways, this is it for this video, guys. Go ahead and subscribe, like the video, leave a comment below. Tell me what reaction video would you like me to make in the future. Subscribe. Have a good one. I'm out.